Lal Bahadur Shastri was an Indian statesman and the second Prime Minister of India. He promoted White Revolution, a national campaign to increase the production of supply of milk by supporting the Amul Milk Cooperative of Anand, Gujarat. The country was suffering from food shortage at that time, and he started the Green Revolution, which to a very large extent was conducive in improving the food situation, particularly in various areas, northern India areas, particularly Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana. He was also interested in education, and he would often go to address the convocation of various universities. Here there is a replica of excerpts from his speech at Shanti Niketan, December 23rd, 1964. The very thought of coming to Shanti Niketan brings joy to the mind. It is as if one is coming to sit once again at the feet of Gurudev, who brought it into being. As he has himself so beautifully explained, in founding the Shanti Niketan, he started to write a poem in a medium not of words. And so, to my delight and joy at finding myself in your midst in this abode of peace is more than I can express. And yet my delight is tempered with the sense of humility when I look back at the galaxy of the great souls who adorned the post of Acharya at Vishwabharati, Gurudev himself, Shriyut Abhendranath Tagore, Sarojini Devi, and lastly Jawaharlal Nehru. One and all of them are great names in the realm of art and literature, while I have no pretensions to anything pertaining to art and artistic. However, I myself is Sanatak of Kashi Vidyapeeth, which was set up in contrast to the schools existing then. As a one-time rebel against the convention education, therefore, I am very much with you in spirit. Like my own Kashi Vidyapeeth, I see Vishwabharati as a temple of learning, breaking away from the straight-laced education of the day and seeking to reach out to the higher realms of knowledge by first developing the human personality and soul. To be the Acharya of Vishwabharati is an honor I value no less than being the Prime Minister of India. And as long as it is given to me to serve this society, this country, I shall strive to see that this institution lives and progresses in the fulfillment of Rabindranath's dreams. Standing in your midst today, I am to keep reminding myself where I am, so different it is from the other where I come from, to associate with usual university convocation. Here in the Amar Kunj, one feels of which the poet wrote, the eternal companionship which is a great brotherhood of trees have ever offered to man. Listening to the age-old invocations which used to ring out in our forest ashrams thousands of years ago, one is inspired by the richness of our heritage, so sublime, so profound. One feels a sense of relief from the trials and travails and tribulations of times, of which I have more than an adequate share. And so, it is I to come to you not as an Acharya of Vishwabharati, but as a pilgrim, as a pilgrim in search of peace and fulfillment. I wonder whether you who live here more daily in these sylvan surroundings realize how great is your privilege, how precious is your heritage. For while the whole country is indebted to Gurudev, you are the direct inheritors or his ideals. You are the spiritual heirs of the great person who established this. The Tapovan, the forest ashram, was the center of the highest learning in the ancient India, and it was the atmosphere of Tapovan that Rabindranath sought to reproduce for you. He wished you to live in intimate touch with nature, daily to grow an atmosphere of service offered to the creatures, tending trees, feeding birds and animals, learning to feel the immense mystery of soil and water and air. And because he felt a knowledge of arts was essential for the full development of human soul, he sought to provide all this for you, that so that you could go from here in knowledge and in culture a fully integrated personality. Simplicity of living was another feature of learning in the Tapovan. I wish that our universities would try to come a little closer to the age old ideal of simple living and high thinking. Here in Shanti Niketan, living in the lap of nature, you are specially favored in being able to five up more easily to the high ideal of realizing Gurudev's word, our conscious relationship with the infinite and the lasting power of the eternal in the passing moments of our life. In these days, when talks and discussions regarding the making of nuclear bomb fill the air, I am particularly happy to have this opportunity of visiting Shanti Niketan. Shanti Niketan stands for all we hold precious in Indian life and culture and tradition. The atom bomb is the very antithesis of all that Shanti Niketan stands for. It is not a weapon of war, it is an evil engine of mass destruction. The nations of the world regard it as such and yet do not have strength to outlaw it. It is often said that the morality has no place in the working of governments, and the decisions of the government cannot be based purely on moral considerations. To an extent, this may be true. For me, Vishwa Bharati has a special appeal because it seeks to draw inspiration from all that was great in our past and blend it harmoniously into the present. There is too much of running after Western education on the part of our universities. To some extent, this is typified by the ardor with which we seek to cling to the English language. None would belittle the importance of English language as a great vehicle of thought and culture and as a great language of international understanding. The role of Vishwa Bharati far transcends the limited concept of national integration. Vishwa Bharati, as conceived by Rabindranath, was universal and it embraced the whole world. Even while its inspiration and thought are essentially Indian, yet the cultures of other lands have blown freely through these whispering grooves. So many distinguished sons of various countries have helped us to build up this institution and make it what it is today. Even today, they are amongst you, students of different countries, and Vishwa Bharati continues to be a meeting ground of many cultures. Let us hope that this will always continue to be so, and this precious legacy of Gurudev will continue to inspire us and all the people connected with Vishwa Bharati.